for us to be here. It is important, very, very important for us to be here. Can someone hear me?
No, you are
Yeah,
being
we can
heard.
hear you.
5 on 5, sir.
Can someone?
Yes, you are being
Oh, okay,
heard.
fine. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Okay. It's very important for us to be here, and it is even more important for us to be more regular here and to come out in our numbers, because this is a learning place. This is a place where we learn, we exchange ideas and learn. If you have an idea and I have an idea, by the time we exchange ideas and we go home, 10 of us will each have 10 ideas, and you add to yours, that will be 11, which is very, very important. Now, if we don't come, we will not learn anything, and tomorrow will always be in the dark. So it's important for us to come. And thank God that we have a senior citizen here who is so devoted is really very near. We will say when your brother is on the plum tree, you can always eat the ripest orange or plum. And our brother is really up there, and he's quite close. He has a good network, and is also a good volunteer, somebody who is willing to dole out as much as he knows for us to share. So we welcome you, Mr. Bibi, so that if you have something you can share with us this evening. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Taim. I thank all those who are in the house already. There's those who are coming for the first time. You are welcome. We hope that you have more sessions like Madame Gwendoline. We admonish you to come more times here. For those who have been attending, we'll call on you to
Yes.
always come. Repetition is the best teacher. And some people say, oh, they come and hear only the same thing. No, why not? You come, if you come one time, if you come a number of times and the same thing is said, some people come only once and they hear the thing too. So the more times we say the same thing, the better for us. And of course, our leaders keep on saying it. Our unicorn is a new thing. It's a new way of looking at things in life. This has never happened in the world. Many of us are still wondering whether this is a true thing. Many people are wondering. And of course, this is the dream of one person, Ash. And many of us ask so many questions, and we know that this company is owned by Ash Mufare. It's not owned by founders. And therefore, when we have any worry, we should always wait for him to say something. Don't expect leaders to say it. Because even the trio, as Tayim just said, Chris Johnson, Redfern, and Marty DeGamo, they are always there. They are the nearest people to him, but you hardly see them. They don't talk about what Ash has said. They try to educate us on the company, and they don't try to read his mind because they can't read his mind. They always wait after a webinar. All of them wait that there is a summary posted so that all of us can read. They don't hurriedly give out information like some of us give, which is not true. So if you don't know, you better stay and get the right information from the back office. Don't give half-baked information. The half-baked
Yes.
information is going to be followed better than the true information. That is what life is. People tend to follow things which are wrong than those which are right. So I think that's it. We thank you, Mr. Taim. We want to apologize for our host, Mr. John Menkefo. He's actually in transit. He's on this call, but he cannot make any valuable contribution because he's in transit. So that's it. Thank you very much, and everybody's welcome. I was asking about the 5 pillars of on-passive, and Mr. Taim said that the CEO talked about it yesterday. He has been talking about them in the past 2, 3, 4 webinars. He's always been talking about those pillars. What does on-passive rest on? There are 5 pillars. The first pillar is the one-stop shop. Yes, the one-stop shop that will have our OES. That's everything is in one place. That is the identity of on-passive. There is no company that has that. That's the foundation, one of the main or the first foundation on which on-passive is built on. Single sign-on. Yes, that's what we call the OES. And that is why when you join the OAS, they gave you $10 because that's the first identity of OnPassive, the OES. The second one of OnPassive, the second major pillar of OnPassive is to own our own merchant, our own processor. Our CEO said yesterday they are working on it and they are almost through. That's what he said yesterday. They are almost through. So we should just wait. At any time he makes the announcement, we'll be very, very happy. We know very well that since the 1st of September, when our company went commercial, we have had problems of payment. And a lot of jittering questions have been coming up here and they, oh, why is payment doing this? Why? We know that the merchant, you have a company, you must hire a merchant in the present day marketing or structure, company structure in the world. Very few, no company has owned its own merchant. Most companies depend on other merchants. And what is their work? They receive from customers, pay to the company, and then receive from the company and give back to the customers. That is the work of the merchant. We are working on our own merchant and we are far gone, said as our CEO said. That is our second pillar. Our third pillar is owning our own domain accreditation. Yes, owning the domain name. And that is just what this company is built on. This company is built on artificial intelligence, that we win it, we are in it to win it. What does it mean? That the company will do most of the lifting, and then you just sit behind and watch and you enjoy. You do less, you pay less, and you enjoy, you get more. That is the philosophy of the company. Do less, pay less, and get more. So with the domain, we'll be able, this will have them very soon. Our CEO has promised. When each of us has a domain, of course, traffic will be sent to each of these domains, to each of our domains, hundreds and millions of domains. And of course, when a customer is sent by AI to each of our domains, when he buys, you have the percentage that we know for the products now. 100% for the first customer, 25% for the other, for the next customers. We don't know whether this will continue or we will change it. That is our third pillar. Our fourth pillar is to own our own data centers. We know what data is. Data is information, names, phone numbers, bank accounts. That's all data. A lot of countries, a lot of companies, they pay a lot to have their data stored in the cloud or to be kept somewhere that they can pick and use. So, and this can only be done when you have a good data center. Right now, a few companies own data center, and we are proud. We are proud that we already have a data center. And as our CEO said yesterday, a number of data centers are already ready, and he will soon announce them. It's not one, it's not two. So he said there are a number of them in a row that will be announced. The locations we will not tell any person, but that they are going to come very soon. And Betty, what advantage do these data centers have for us? That will be another huge source of income for us, because countries, companies, institutions will be coming knocking at the doors of OnPassive to buy space in order to keep their data. And of course, the CEO, given the type of human heart he has, would know that he will not hesitate sharing some of what he gets from these data centers for us. So that is the fourth of our pillars. And the last of our pillars is owning our own verification system. We know, we've heard of O-Verify. That will be our own KYC, know your customer. And this is already polished. It's almost at the end. It's almost at the point of release. So these are the 5 main pillars on which we, proud founders, proud affiliates of OnPassive, can say our company is proud to have and is going to change the world because of them. Okay, that is the first part of our presentation. If there are any questions about these pillars and any other thing, we are free to pose them before we go on to the second part of our presentation. Thank you. Please, if there's any question, you have any question, you are free to ask. Maybe from the first presentation, or from anything, any worry that you have of the company, any worry that you have, you can bring it up.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you very much, Bibi, for the decent presentation. Any questions, please?
Madam Fai, yes,
We're free to ask.
Madam Fai's hand is up.
Hello.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, sir. Mine is not a question, but I want to appreciate the presentation you just made, because when you talked of the 5 pillars, I did not vividly think of it, but when you started presenting, I remembered that I saw those 5 pillars, and like you rightly said, this is a ground where we can really learn a lot. I'm so grateful. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Madam Fai. And that is why we repeat these things every day. If today you don't get it, tomorrow
Yes.
you get the very thing, will be good. That is why we are repeating, please. I remember when we joined on passive in 2020, Charles Osong was coming and presenting his story every week. He was saying the same thing every week. Some people got angry and said, but why is this man coming and telling the same thing every day? But that was important, because each week a new person came. If you were a person who was there before, listen to it, it will reinforce your own knowledge. If you were not there, a new person has come in, you understand it. So, Madam, thank you. Madam Fai, thank you. Yes,
I was
Madam,
always very grateful with that his repetition of his story. That's what
yes,
built my faith strongly,
good.
even in the
Even me,
unpassing.
even
I
myself.
was hearing it every day.
Yes,
I
Even
was
me too.
always satisfied with it.
yes, yes,
I
yes.
was so, even if he tells it today, I will listen more than somebody
Yes,
who has
yes,
never
yes,
heard.
yes.
So
My
it's
story.
only
Yes.
people who do not understand.
Mhm.
His
And we
story is
should,
a
Yes.
testimony.
ladies and gentlemen, my dear leaders, we should know that on-passive is not an element. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme. The principles are clear. You have a shop along the Commercial Avenue or along a market or a central business district. People, you need to make it accessible and put goods inside so that people buy. This is on-passive. We each of our accounts call it one shop. Okay, they say that they have products. The products are coming in. Buy them and put in your shop. When people come and see, the company would help people to come and see the product. When they buy, the first person you get 100%, the rest you have 25%. The more products you have, the more your commission base would increase. So as the more you stay in on passive, the older you be, and the more products you put in your arsenal of products, obviously you are going to have more and more commissions. And as you say, Rome was not built in a day. Of course, within a short time, you see yourself, transforming your family, transforming your society. Why not transforming the whole world? I think that is our philosophy in this game. This is why we are here in On Passive, my dear brothers and sisters. Okay,
Yes.
Madam Gwendoline, your hand was up and was dropped, or you didn't intend the hand up?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah. I actually raised my hand up. I wanted to. I did not get the second pillar of unpassive very well, because while you were talking, your network cracked, so I could not get it. So
Come
I
again.
wanted to. I did not get the second pillar of unpassive. While you were talking, your network cracked, and I did not get it. So I just wanted
Yeah,
to
man.
know it.
Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you. Point of correction. Each time you are talking and there is any problem from your end, it is rather from your end, not from the other end. So when there is any cracking, it is rather from your own end where the problem is coming, right?
Yes.
Yes,
You're in a better
most of
network
the
system.
time it
Yes.
is from your own end that the problem is coming. But that said, I've said there are 5 pillars. The first pillar, I said, the first pillar is the single sign-on, the OES, that all of us are in. That one is we have a one-stop shop where all our products will be there. This is the first company that will ever have that. Our second pillar is to own our own merchant or our own payment processor. What the company is doing now, because we're depending on a third party to do this processing of payments for us. And that is why we're asking people to be patient, because this third party is very slow in processing now. So the company is getting slowly and slowly to get a replacement of that. So let's be patient. The third one is to own our own domain accreditation, where each of us will have a domain name, and it's easy now for AI to send customers to each of our domains. Is on the web, so you will be searched everywhere, not only in OnPassive, but other companies will be searching for you. Then we'll have the fourth one will be to own our own data centers. And then the last one is to own our own verification system, which we already have, the O-Verify. Are we okay now? The five? Are you okay?
Yes,
Madam,
sir. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay.
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. All right. I don't know how many of us.
That's great.
How many of us have been able to set up an Oconnect webinar since we activated our account?
I have done so.
Good. Yes. Mr. Taim, I know you have done that. You have done so.
Yes, I did it, but not very fluently in a way.
Okay. I'm saying
Need some perfection.
Yeah, I know one of the problems, especially back home there, is network. Our network strength.
That's it.
The bandwidth, the strength of our signals are very weak. Again, not that they are weak.
Yes.
The way the companies they operate, they send out a little dose and charge so much for it. So that before you have a strong bandwidth, you have to pay a lot of money, which many of us cannot pay. So they send only a small dose out, and people pay so much for it. But I think
that's it. Perfectly right.
Yeah, for the benefit of all, I would go through the process of setting up an Oconnect webinar and how to handle it. Let's do it for the good of all. Is that good for us?
Yes, it's good.
Yes, sir.
All right, let me share my screen. Let me just share my screen, and then
before we get to that, sir, may I ask a question?
Yes.
If I may understand, when we have our own data center, can it upgrade our bandwidth here? Because I remember in the old days of OnPassive, I was so excited, and my biggest thing was I was equally thinking of these network issues that we are never ever connected. And so when I got of a data center, I was only thinking about that.
Yeah, madam, in some way, yes. First, because our CEO has said that, you see, with the new release of Oconnect, right? As soon as the new release comes out, initially he said it was going to come out next week. Let's just wait to see when it will come out. You see, when you look at the top of the page where you are receiving this call, you find on the top right there those green bars.
Yeah.
You see the green bars? That shows your network strength.
Yes.
There's supposed to be 3 where your network strength is very, very good.
I'm just 1.
You will have only 1.
I have 1.
Yeah, a lot.
Yes.
Yes, so the highest will be 3, and then
I have all the 3.
Good, right? That's what I want to say. If you have all the 3, that is very good. Some people have 2, some people have 1. Okay, guess what?
I'm
when
surprised that I have one and I'm receiving.
yes, some people have zero and they are receiving. Guess what? If you are able to
Okay.
enter the meeting room like you are entered now, what the next during the next
Yes.
release, there is going to be a button below that green, whereby when you enter, you click on that button. That button will allow you to remain in the webinar, even if your network strength reduces. Don't you think that is a
Okay.
wonderful thing
Okay.
that
Okay.
non-passive is doing?
A booster. Yes.
Yes,
That's
that
a
is
turbo booster, I'm
Wonderful.
sure.
Great.
Yes.
yes, it would be like a to-go booster in a car. That when you come in,
Yes.
go there. If you suspect that your network is going to give any problem, just hit on it. And as long as you are in, you are in. Nobody will kick you out again.
Okay.
Your reception may be lower in quality, but you will be there. That is what
That's it.
that's the first thing, Madam Fida, I want to say. The
Oh,
second
thank
thing,
you, sir.
which our CEO has told us, is that uh, he is not yet promising that we are going to go into network market. That is that's the data network, so to say, market. But that, as we get on, that is not a difficulty for him, for the company, to own particular satellites, whereby it will reinforce reception in every part of the world. I think that is what he said
Okay.
in one of his earlier webinars, which I attended. So I think that
Yeah,
is in his
I
mind.
remember too.
It
Yeah.
is in his mind, and we should rest assured that as these initial challenges of the company are off, and room is given to Ash Mufare to actually show his prowess, his ingenuity,
Yeah.
then you see a lot of things come out of his pocket. So I think let's.
Yes.
I don't say no to that. We keep our fingers crossed.
It's
Okay.
decent. Yes.
All right. Okay. Let me now share my screen.
The share screen. Okay.
Okay. Okay. I will share my screen and then I will not use this account which we are using now to create a different webinar. I will be forced to sign out because I cannot create another webinar now because I'm now the host of this webinar. That is the problem.
Okay.
Okay.
That is where the problem is. I will not be able to create another webinar. And if I sign out as a host, the whole meeting will collapse.
It will be closed. That's true.
It will be
Yeah, we
closed.
close.
So
Is it?
what I will do now, Madam Gwendoline, I would like to. I think we are already inside the webinar. Those who are inside, I hope I will just make everybody a co-host so that you can see all the buttons. But please avoid
Okay.
touching the buttons. I'll make everybody a co-host because co-hosts are everybody can be made a co-host. Madam Gwendolyn, so you watch out this time. Yes, watch out this time with that board, with that whiteboard. Okay, right. Everybody is either a host or a co-host now, except people who have come in. Mr. Christine Azini, let me make him a co-host.
Anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can get you, please. We can get you. All right. So in the house now,
Okay.
everybody is either a host or a co-host. In order to reach this page, Madam Gwendolyn, because you are the one who asked this question, you need to go back to you sign into your account, right? When you sign into your account, you are going to go to Oconnect. That's if you have paid for it. If you are not paid for it, you will not be able to schedule an Oconnect webinar, except you are doing the trial. If you are paid for it, as we have done, you'll be able to do as many webinars as you want in a day. Their meeting rooms are 10,000 people. You can organize webinars of up to 10,000 people. You have this page of display can take, this view page can take 25 people. You have two hosts in one meeting and as many co-hosts as possible. That's why I've made everybody a co-host here. So that is what you have. When you click on Oconnect, then you'll be taken to another interface where uh, you have fields to fill. You have the reason why you want to have that webinar. Of course, the title, you give it a title like we are on today. We are calling it "More Patients in Activation." Then you fill that in. Then you give a second one, your agenda. The second part of your agenda, it could be the same thing. You just repeat the same thing, and then you go down. The third most important thing that you do now is to set your time. When you open, the first thing is the present time where you are. But you can now set and go ahead. So you can set, if you can go, not go backward, you can go ahead. You can go in the very day, and then or you can go days ahead or some time ahead. Then it gives you room to set that for the days, and it gives you room to set the time. And then the duration, you make it as many hours as possible. There's the button there, you select your time there or the duration, and then whether it's 2 hours, 3 hours, or how many hours you hit, and then of course it is stored. When you do that now, you will just go down top, bottom left or bottom right. There's a button there, create webinar. You just click on it, and your webinar will be created, and it will come on the screen. Webinar successfully created. Then when the webinar is successfully created, immediately on that very page where you are, there will be information about that webinar that you have created. And then on the second block, on the second row, there is information which you can now share about the links. You click on it. When you click on that second column, you can get now the link to share to those whom you want to be in your webinar. When you click on it, it will just copy on your clip box, and then you can go to, whether you go to email or to WhatsApp or to which social media to share. Then when you share it now, you only wait for the time of your meeting. And when the time of the meeting reaches, on the extreme right hand of that very page, you mean to start webinar. So you just hit on start, and your webinar is going to start. When you start, please, as you start the webinar, you have icons. You have an initial